Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. I am your host, Chris Coney. Today is Friday the 23rd of September, and well, the time in the UK right now is 1 PM. I'm a little bit behind today with recording of the Cryptoverse. Do apologize for that. It was a late webinar with a client last night, so I overslept. Apologize, I'm only human. Okay, enough of that. So Bitcoin.com, we bring the news. Alan Scott has written us a nice article here, and it says Monero Mastercard. Wirex bridges altcoins with legacy payments. Now I think this is a big deal. It's like one of those things I did yesterday where on the surface it doesn't look like much. It seems a bit dry and boring, but in terms of being a key milestone, a key linchpin, a keystone in the whole infrastructure of Bitcoin cryptocurrencies, this is a big one. So, Wirex users can now fund a Mastercard on Mastercard debit cards with Ethereum as well as 24 other cryptocurrencies. Shapeshift is an instant digital asset exchange for Bitcoin and other blockchain tokens. And they've announced an API integration with Wirex, which is a London-based service that bridges traditional payments with cryptocurrency. Now, Wirex users can fund their cards with Shapeshift-supported cryptocurrencies. So, what does that mean? That means that if you get yourself a Wirex Mastercard debit card, you can fund it with any of the cryptocurrencies that Shapeshift supports. And the key thing is that when a debit card provider like Wirex integrates with someone like Shapeshift, you just get the benefits of both. We already know that Mastercard is accepted pretty much everywhere, right? Anyone with a credit card machine can accept payment from that. And then with Shapeshift, that allows then pretty much any of the cryptocurrencies they support, which is a big list, to be able to fund that card. What that ends up meaning in the real world is that you can spend any of the cryptocurrencies that Shapeshift supports at a retail store that takes MasterCards, right? That's brilliant. That's so brilliant. And the technology is all invisible, right? It just Shapeshift do their thing and Wirex do their thing. The MasterCard network does their thing and it just works, right? So the merchant doesn't even necessarily, they won't know that they are technically taking cryptocurrency as payment. Well, they're not because the trading goes on in the middle. But from the buyer's point of view, that's what's happening. You're paying with Monero, and the other person, the merchant, is receiving their local currency because MasterCard and the Wirex and then Shapeshift will take care of all that stuff in between. So then there's a quote here from the co-founder of Wirex, and it says, Bitcoin enjoys the first mover advantage and dominates the crypto market. However, as the ecosystem matures, there's also a growing community of users with other digital assets. One of the most popular customer requests was to make a multi-asset friendly debit card, and with Shapeshift, we have finally made this possible. Close quote. So this is the beauty of an API. An API is like an extra bit of software that allows you to translate, or allows apps that were built completely separately to communicate with each other. It's kind of like when you get one of those dictionaries, those translation dictionaries. It's like Spanish to English, right? That's kind of like an API. So Shapeshift will have written one of those kind of dictionaries to say, look, this is how our system, the language our system speaks, and this is how to communicate with it. So it will give you the translations. If you want our system to understand this input, then tell us this, right? So that's what an API is. And it allows anybody to communicate with Shapeshift and use their technology, right? And it's just brilliant. APIs just allow almost unlimited creativity by combining services together to create brand new services. So Eric Voorhees, Shapeshift's founder and CEO, added, quote, Wirex renders banks wholly unnecessary. With cryptocurrency and an easy mobile app, one can avoid banks and still pay for things everywhere. Close quote. Well, is that true? Is that true? Is that true? Is that true? Because it's still running across the MasterCard network, essentially. So there's going to be banks involved in that somewhere. Yeah, specifically because it's MasterCard that's receiving the payment on the merchant's end, they're going to have a bank account in their local currency. Otherwise, MasterCard can't deposit the funds in the merchant's bank account, right? Now, if the merchant was taking cryptocurrency directly, well, they wouldn't need a bank account, and then you wouldn't need the Wirex integration or the Mastercard debit card. So there is going to be a bank involved in the chain still. So the article goes on to say the debit card works anywhere Visa and Mastercard are accepted, according to Wirex website. Additionally, users can they can load cards instantly both via desktop or smartphone app. The Wirex app also provides users with a so-called virtual Visa card. It can be loaded with Bitcoin or any Shapeshift supported assets. Cool. Numerous other services such as BitPay and Shift have offered their own cards for quite some time. Moreover, Netherlands-based Bitwala doesn't only support altcoins such as Ethereum and Monero, but also lets users pay their bills and send money to SEPA accounts. So SEPA is like that international, bank account transfer thingy. So that's cool. Previously known as eCoin, Wirex offers a suite of solutions for Bitcoin users, enabling everyday purchases from coffee and groceries to withdrawing funds from an ATM. These services include a, wait for it, PayPal to Bitcoin conversion that works in over 30 countries, as well as a virtual Visa card intended for shopping online. The company's services support over 130 countries and cards in 3 local currencies, including US dollar, euro, and pound. How interesting. That is very interesting. What was the bit I was going to comment on there? Oh yeah, the thing about the PayPal to Bitcoin thing, it's probably not the best usage because PayPal's fees are quite high, and the trouble with having a long chain of integrations like Shapeshift and then Wirex and then Mastercard is that each of these nodes in the chain will be earning money from the service, right? They're not doing it for free, which means there's a fee involved. So while I just said that it was a brilliant feature, and it is, the only downside to having a lot of these integrations to create a convenient service is that there's fees at every point. So Shapeshift will be taking a fee, Wirex will be taking a fee, Mastercard will be taking a fee, right? Because these are all services that are built on top of the cryptocurrency networks, which in an ideal world, I would just have my blockchain.info mobile app on my iPhone with Bitcoin in it. The merchant would have their own Bitcoin wallet or a point of sale system. No, not just that. Forget that. They would just have their own Bitcoin wallet. And then I would purchase something from them, a cup of coffee, and I would just pay them the Bitcoin from my wallet to their wallet. Boom. And then the only fee involved there would be the transaction fee on the Bitcoin network, because it would be a protocol level, basic vanilla transaction. So that's fine. That's always there if we want it. And these guys are adding value on top of that, by making it more convenient. So that's added value, and therefore they should get paid for that added value, which is why they take the fee. So there's all the pros and cons, if you know what I mean. Convenience, you have to pay for convenience because someone's built a service in order to do that. And then inset into the article, I've already played this video. It says you can watch a quick demo of the new feature in action below. And I think this is a pretty terrible video. It's a bit boring. It doesn't really make you excited to use the app. It doesn't make me excited to use the app. The voiceover is a bit dull. The demo itself, it sounds a little bit cumbersome, and they could have made it look a lot easier than it actually, is. Sorry, they could have made it look a lot easier than it seems in the video, right? And the article ends by saying, will such a feature boost the infrastructure of other cryptocurrencies besides Bitcoin? Yes, it will. Because then what we're doing with this stuff is we're dialing down the level of inconvenience of using a non-Bitcoin currency, right? So the more fringe, the more niche a cryptocurrency that you support, the more of a pain in the bum it is to use because the infrastructure just isn't there. So when you meet something like Shapeshift, and that's why it's a big deal when, oh my God, Shapeshift now lists X currency. Like the first time that Shapeshift started listing Steam, for example, that was a milestone for the Steam community because it suddenly creates access to the whole world that Shapeshift has access to. It's a gateway to many, many, many other cryptocurrency communities, right? So anytime that happens is positive. And this is just another step forward. This now, like I said earlier on, This now takes the Mastercard network, and the benefit that brings is that we have millions and millions of merchants around the world who accept Mastercard and Visa as payment. And then bridging it with Shapeshift means that any of the fringe altcoins that you might support, you now don't have to mess about manually turning it back into Bitcoin or whatever to your local currency to spend it. You can just now keep it in your preferred niche altcoin, and then when you're ready to spend it, you just spend it, right? And all of the transactional stuff, the exchanges and stuff like that, is taken care of behind the scenes by these integrations and by this technology that Wirex, Mastercard, and Shapeshift provide. You know, Mastercard could surprise us. Think about the name Mastercard. It's your Mastercard, right? It's the only one card that you need, right? So Mastercard, I could see them rebranding themselves or gradually moving over to being a cryptocurrency-based company. And it is like now a Mastercard, meaning whatever altcoin that you have, you use your Mastercard to spend it, right? And it's the only card that you need. Whatever altcoin you have, you just use your Mastercard to spend, right? So I can see them more formally becoming, because this really is an integration by a third party. The Mastercard haven't done this themselves. So there we go. So that's going to do it for today's edition of the Cryptoverse with me, Chris Coney. Thank you very much for listening today. Please go to cryptoversity.com and go to the podcast page if you wish to subscribe. You can subscribe to the audio version of the Cryptoverse on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. And you can subscribe to the video version by going to the YouTube button on that page. And also please support the Cryptoverse by sending us a Bitcoin tip to the address on that page, by clicking through to Steam it and voting for this episode on the Steam network. Alternatively, you can go to our new merchandise store where you can buy yourself a t-shirt with the Cryptoversity branding on it or an iPhone case. That stuff helps us out a lot. Or if you'd like more structured information on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains, head over to the courses section and buy yourself an online course. All right, that's going to do it for today. Until tomorrow and the next episode of the Cryptoverse, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.